merong nawawala sa paglipas ng panahon. Meron namang naghihintay lang na mahukay. Sa isang kuweba sa Pilipinas, may nadiskubreng mga ngipin at buto na sa unang tingin aakalain mong ordinaryong fossil lang. Pero magpapabago pala sa kasaysayan at pag-unawa natin sa ebolusyon ng tao sa kasalukuyan. Balikan natin ang pagkakadiskubre sa itinuturong bagong species ng tao na natagpuan dito sa Pilipinas. Ako si Harleen Delgado at ito ang Philippines Strangest Mysteries. Nakapunta ka na ba sa probinsya ng Cagayan? Nako, kung hindi pa, alam nyo bang tahanan ng probinsya ng daang-daang nakakamanghang kuweba, lalo na dun sa Northern Sierra Madre Mountain Range. Pero hindi lang ang ganda ang meron sa mga kuwebang ito sa Cagayan. Sa mundo ng archaeology, iba-ibang earliest stone tools at labi ng mga extinct species ng mga hayop ang natagpuan sa maraming Paleolithic sites sa probinsya at sa mas malawak na Cagayan Valley Basin. Kabilang na riyan yung fossil skull ng dambuhalang ancient elephant na kung tawagin ay Stegodon na natagpuan sa Solana, Cagayan. Karamihan sa mga kuweba sa probinsya nasa bayan ng Peñablanca. Dahilan para bansagan ito noon ng ilan na caving adventure capital of the Philippines. Alam nyo ba na isa sa pinakadinarayo rito ang pamosong Callo Cave na tanyag dahil sa iba-ibang chamber at limestone formations nito gaya ng Callo Cave Chapel. Pero sinong mag-aakalang ang kuwebang ito ang maglalagay sa Pilipinas sa mapa ng siyensya ng human evolution? Noong late 70s, nagsimula yung excavations ng National Museum of the Philippines sa Callo Cave. Late 90s naman nang sinurvey ito ng Filipino archaeologist na si Dr. Armand Mijares na ngayon faculty sa University of the Philippines School of Archaeology. Kwento niya nakatutok noon ang National Museum sa western side ng kuweba, habang sa south at eastern sides naman siya. Sinimulan niya yung paghuhukay noong 2003 bilang bahagi ng kanyang dissertation sa University of the Philippines. Yun nga lang, walang natagpo ang kakaibang buto. Hanggang sa natagpuan ang Homo floresiensis, also known as the Hobbit sa Indonesia. Dahil dito, na-inspire si Mijares na bumalik sa Callo Cave sa sumunod na taon. But this time, to dig deeper. At hanggang taong 2007 nang madiskubre ng zoo archaeologist na si Philip Piper ng Australian National University ang isang foot bone mula sa mga buto ng hayop na nahukay ng grupo ni Mijares.
And then one afternoon, I think, he called me my cell phone and said, "Hi, mate, you have human remains." I said, "What? You have human remains? You have one."
It was dug in 2007, published in 2010. Ito yung original Callo man, the MT3. And first published 67,000. No? And at that time, we're saying it's probably a small-bodied Homo sapien. Because we cannot say yet it's not Homo sapien because we only have one. It has Homo sapien features, but my colleagues at all were saying, yes, it's Homo sapien features, but it's also very, very weird. The shape is very different. There are really different part of this that fit Homo sapien. So it has to be a new species. But at that time, because we have only one, we cannot say it yet until we have the other things to prove to the world, the scientists world, that indeed it is a new species.
2011 nang matagpuan ang mas maraming piraso ng ngipin at buto. Isang thigh bone, tig-2 buto sa paa at sa kamay at 6 na ngipin. Hanggang taong 2015 nang makuha ang single third molar na kabilang sa requirements sa pagtuhoy sa bagong species. Alam nyo, sa kabuuan, nasa 13 fossils ang nakuha na pinaniniwalaang galing sa 2 adult at 1 bata.
Amazingly, all of this, you can be able to situate in a 1 by 1 square meter. Only. Callo Cave was excavated since the late 70s. The whole underchamber was almost excavated. And we only found the remains in this 1 by 1 square meter. That's how lucky I am. If we didn't find that 1 by 1 square meter, we won't have anything.
And then, taong 2019, nang iprinisinta sa publiko yung mga buto sa Kuweba ng Kalaw.
Today, the University of the Philippines is proud to present significant research in the field of archaeology. The exciting findings, the actual fossils.
Tinawag itong Homo luzonensis, hango sa Luzon na pinakamalaking isla sa Pilipinas kung saan ito natagpuan. Binigyan din ito ng local nickname na Ubag, na hango sa isang mythical caveman. Pero sabi ni Mijares, hindi ibig sabihin ito na sa Calao Cave mismo tumira ang Homo luzonensis. Dahil pwedeng inanod o na-deposit na lang yung mga fossil sa kuweba dahil sa agos ng tubig.
We never said that Homo luzonensis were living in Calao Cave. They're not living in the Calao Cave because the fossil deposition it was deposited by water action, a small channel. So they were actually, most probably, living on top of the Calao Ridge. And there are sinkholes. So they might be living there, they might have died there, and then later on they get washed in individually through time.
Pero gaano nga ba katanda ang mga nakitang buto ng Homo luzonensis? Alam nyo, gamit ang uranium series dating, tinatayang nasa 50,000 hanggang 134,000 years old ang Calao Man. Mas matanda pa kumpara sa mga buto ng Tabon Man na natagpuan noon sa Palawan. Kaya naman ang Homo luzonensis ang pinaniniwalaang earliest human remains na natagpuan dito sa Pilipinas. So ngayon, alam na natin lahat to, pero malamang tinatanong nyo, ano ngayon? Bakit nga ba mahalaga ang pagkakadiskubre sa itinuturong bagong species na to? Alam nyo, dahil kasi rito, lumawak ang human family tree. Bago kasi yung pagkakadiskubre sa Homo luzonensis, 3 lang ang kilalang human ancestor sa Asia. Ang Homo sapiens, kung saan tayong mga nabubuhay ngayon kabilang, ang Homo erectus na base sa Java man na natagpuan sa Indonesia, at ang Homo floresiensis o mas kilala bilang The Hobbit. And base sa mga fossil, ano kaya ang posibleng itsura ng Homo luzonensis? What we know so far, maliliit ang natagpuang fossilized bones na posibleng indikasyon na wala pang 4 feet yung tangkad nila.
The problem is we cannot fully estimate a stature because we will need long bones to do that. We only have foot bones and hand bones. We have a long bone, this one, but it is from a juvenile.
Yeah, what part
This one.
of the
It's
body?
a femoral shaft, but it's juvenile. I mean, it's a young individual. So you cannot do statue for that time, for that type of age group. So again, so it is small. You can infer it with Homo floresiensis. I think Homo floresiensis is estimated to be about at least more than a meter. So it's maybe around a meter is about 3 feet, right? So it's really almost around that height also, or might be even smaller.
Halos kasing tangkad lang ng 6-year-old na bata. At dahil nga wala pa rin nakikitang bungo ng Homo luzonensis, nananatiling misteryo kung ano nga ba ang itsura nila. Pero kung pagbabasehan natin yung kanilang mga ngipin, ayon kay Mijares, posibleng maliit ang bungo nito.
Look at this teeth, no? This is a complete set, no? This is actually your P3, P4, premolar 3, premolar 4, M1, M2. So you can see there's already 4 teeth in a row. It's almost like 2 centimeter in length. For humans, you have at least 6 centimeter yan. So imagine the skull is very, very small.
Also, mas maliliit din yung ngipin ng Homo luzonensis kumpara sa ibang sinaunang human species na isang trait na karaniwan sa modern humans. Pero ang natagpoang premolars, mayroong 3 ugat na karaniwang matatagpuan naman sa Australopithecus. Alam nyo, kwento pa ni Mijares, yung hugis pakurba sa natagpoang buto sa kamay at paa, posibleng indikasyon na nakasanayan nilang umakyat sa puno para manguha ng pagkain. At di gaya ng Homo erectus na pinaniniwalaang tumira sa mala-savanna type na lugar o grassland, Ang Homo luzonensis, posibleng sa kagubatan o sa lugar kung saan maraming puno tumira.
For example, this foot bone, it's curved. And this is Homo sapien. As Homo sapien, as Homo luzonensis, see the difference. No? It's a foot bone. So it's a curved foot bone. No? And the curvature normally dictates is a tree dwelling. So it has feature really of living on trees, mostly than on the ground. No? Maybe that's the environment it has to survive. No? Or its diet might be more arboreal resources rather than terrestrial sources. No?
Pero naisip niyo ba kung paano nakarating ng Luzon ng Homo luzonensis? Alam nyo, may mga ilang teorya kaugnay ng mga sinaunang tao ang patuloy na pinagdedebatihan sa scientific community. Isa na riyan ay posibleng natangay sila ng mega tsunami. Pero hindi kumbinsido riyan si Mijares. Kasi para sa kanya, hindi aksidente ang pagdating ng Homo luzonensis, kundi posibleng gusto talaga nilang mag-explore ng ibang mga lugar.
The problem there is the probability is too small. And for example, if there's a tsunami, one person, a group of people might be was sent to Luzon, other in the Visayas. So how could they meet? No? So those ideas has to be considered. No? So my alternative view is there's intentionality, meaning it's not accidental. The intentionality here is to be because humans, no, once Homo erectus left Africa, has always been moving. So if you're tying, then you can tie 1 log, 2 logs, 3 logs, then you have a simple raft. You might not know where you're going. You let the current, the wind blow you wherever you want to go. But then again, with a raft, no, 3 tied up logs, no, it can actually bring more people than a tsunami accident. It's unintentional, accidental.
Okay, sige. Sabihin nating totoo na may inanod matapos ang isang tsunami at may nakaligtas. Pero tingin ni Mijares, kukonting tao lang ang pwedeng makasurvive at kinakailangan ng at least 5 to 10 individuals para makabuo ng isang populasyon. Ganito ang isang hypothesis ni Mijares. Kung mayroon mang movement ang Homo luzonensis, posibleng nanggaling ito sa Borneo, papuntang Palawan, then patungong Mindoro, bago nakapuntang Luzon. Pero yung mga fossils na nahanap so far sa Mindoro, considered as Homo sapiens. So, posibleng mayroon silang ibang rutang dinaanan. Noong 2020 at 2024, bumalik yung team ni Mijares sa Calao Cave para sana makahanap ng iba pang buto gaya ng panga, mahahabang buto at pati bungo. Pero walang nahanap na mga bagong fossil.
Again, it's looking for a needle in a haystack. It might also need some luck. No? It's not always science. No? I'm a scientist. No? But I also requires some way of getting luck.
Pero alam nyo, kahit wala pang nahahanap na bagong fossils, hindi rito huminto sina Mijares. Tuloy pa rin sila sa pagtingin kung saan maaring may natatagong mga buto ng Homo luzonensis. Gaya ng pagsilip kung paano ba nade-deposit ang mga buto sa pamamagitan ng direksyon ng tubig.
So, the original hypothesis is correct. The water is flowing from the south going north. Unfortunately, we didn't find any fossil. The problem also is that it's a very old group. No? The skulls must have been already broken into small bits. But we can no longer identify it. No? And we can only identify it as teeth because teeth survives better. And even the bones, you can see it's really broken up already.
Ngayon, ilang cave sites naman sa Bulacan gaya ng sa Biak na Bato ang inaaral ni Mijares. Handa na sana silang maghukay ng mas malalim noong 2020 matapos makakuha ng grant mula sa DOST. Pero hindi ito natuloy dahil sa COVID-19 pandemic. Maasa ngayon si Mijares na may tutuloy na nila ito sa susunod na taon. Iyan ay kung makakakuha sila ng sapat na funding. Kwento kasi ni Mijares, hindi kasi ganun kadali ang paghuhukay. Mahal at matagal.
As a scientist, no, there's a cycle. You always abide with the cycle. No? So you excavate, you publish, no? You get funding, you excavate. So it's not always like that. No? Because all of my fundings are with the proper scientific institution. I don't get private fundings. I don't get, some of my colleagues get their funding from mining companies. I don't do that. All of my fundings are strictly research fundings. But it takes, you always compete for that. I've dedicated my life, no? It's a career, no? So I started excavating in Calao in 2000. Actually, first in Calao area in 1998. So this is a lifetime. I'm 60 years old right now, 5 years to retirement. So it's a lifetime of work that I did in Peñablanca area, no? So it's a dedication.
Ngayon, nasa opisina ni Mijares yung mga orihinal na buto ng Homo luzonensis. At sa oras na matapos na yung kanyang pag-aaral patungkol dito, ipapaubaya na niya ito sa National Museum. Ilang taon na ang nakalilipas simula ng matagpuan ng mga buto, marami pa ring mga tanong patungkol sa tinaguriang Calauman ang naghihintay ng sagot. Gaya ng, saan sila nanggaling? Sino ang kanilang ninuno? At paano kaya sila naging extinct? Marami mang misteryo para kay Mijares ang pagkakadiskubre sa Homo luzonensis, higit pa sa mga buto, kundi pamana para sa mga Pilipino.
I was being interviewed in a local radio station thing in Cagayan. No? I was being asked, so what's the difference between Tabon? You know? I said, you know, Tabon was discovered by Robert Fox. He's an American. I'm Filipino. So, in a sense, my discovery of Luzonensis have really placed not just in the scientific world, but in the educating world, Homo Luzonensis in the Philippines. It changed a lot. No? Now we have something else to show the world. We can do a proper scientific research on human evolution comparable to other people. I think that would make us at least proud, diba? As a Filipino, as a scientist. We were able to contribute.
Puno man ang tanong, mayroong sigurado. Marami pang nawawalang pahina sa libro ng mga sinaunang tao. At mahalaga ang suporta sa pananaliksik at siyensya para mapunan ang kwento ng ating mga ninuno. Ako si Harleen Delgado at ito ang Philippines' Strangest Mysteries.